Hi, good evening, everyone. Um, Today, I'm going to show you some of the products that we are building and how we are transforming Kushal's using AI. But when you go through those products, okay, just keep one thing in your mind that all these products were built in last 30 days, in less than 30 days, by just one non-technical person while also running two large teams, right? Why I'm giving you that information is because the purpose of my presentation is not really to showcase what we have done, but to leave behind this belief that every startup in this room can match up to any large organization who has billions of dollars in cash and top talent, right? So with that, just by uh, will, I think a lot can change. This brings me to my first slide, which is Kun Faya Kun. So I'm sure all of you would have heard this song, but how many of you know what does this mean? Anyone wants to give it a, anyone wants to try? I can't hear, but okay. That's the song. That's the song. No, it is not. Something similar. So it is a verse from Quran where the context was, it was asked that how this world came to being. Okay, and the answer to that is kun fayakun, which literally means be and it is, which is that the creator willed, hoja or ho gaya. Okay, and that's what it means. And why I'm saying so is because this is what I'm seeing in last uh, 2 years AI doing. Okay, I've been following AI for last 2 years now, very closely building products, and um the speed at which it is changing, it is difficult to keep pace with. Um, First big thing that has happened with this advancement of AI is the complexity has totally dissolved. You can move from will to outcome without any friction. Okay, so what do you want to build? Why do you want to build? And it will be done. It is not a statement. It is something. It is a fact. It is what is happening. Okay, and collapse of timelines, which is that something that you could have built in a year's time can now be done in a single day. Um, and again, it's a fact and not a statement, right? So in today's world, what is happening is when execution capability, capital, and time, they are not constraints. Right? The only constraint today remains is what are you imagining? What do you want to do? How do you want to build your business? Okay, because today, if anyone wants to start any new business, they will have their digital marketing team, product team, tech team, everything through AI. Okay? So how do we compete when the world is becoming like everyone is equal? So what we are imagining at Kushal's is we're building or rethinking entire organization through AI lens, okay? And these are the things that we are currently onto. The green ones are what we have built already. The yellow ones are in the testing phases, okay? And there are a lot of other things that are happening because we have built all this, right? So at its core, is the data, a lot of data, transactional, customer data, walk-in data, what kind of display we have in this store, okay? And there are systems that are feeding our tables. They are building the databases for us, okay? That they are getting a lot of information from multiple places and putting it in the core data systems that we have. And then we have some systems which basically read that data, figure out what is happening in the business, connect the dots, and tell us that intelligently what is the next bet we should take, what are the changes we need to make, what are the kind of people we need to have in the organization, right? So I'll take you through some of these tools. Genie is our creative generation engine, which basically is all kinds of creative starting from PDP shots, to model shots, to any ad that we want to generate happens from there. PIMS is our product information management system, which you would know that what PIMS basically means, but it holds every information about the product at one place. We're building something called IRIS, which is Integrated Retail Intelligence System. Two very large capability we have built there is, one is walk-in. So we have about 125 stores, and when customers walk into our stores, today we rely on external party, and the only information I get is how many people walked in, that is it, right? That is of no use, right? What we have built is helping us understand the age group, the kind of persona of the people who walked in, what is the conversion rates at every age bracket. So if 20 to 30, 100 people are coming, they're converting at 40, 50% versus a different age group. Okay. When we're running certain campaigns, we're able to see how many specific kind of people are walking into our stores, and display inside, which is that we have about 30,000 different designs, right? So it's important for us to understand what is in display, and when it is in display, it gets sold, right? So that is Iris. Minecraft is something which we are building to understand which are the trends we should go after, and that is what feeds back into our category management, right? So I'll spend a little time on all of this, but broadly, these are the three areas of interest for us in AI: generative, predictive, and agentic. We've not done anything on agentic. We will see when do we want to do it, but significant work we have done on generative and predictive. Generative is something which most of you would know what does it mean and how it works, right? But I'll spend a little time on predictive AI, predictive part of AI, which will also take care of the generative AI. Okay. So if I have to talk about how predictive AI really works, is basically, again, data becomes the core part of what you want to, whatever you want to build. This is the core, this is the basic, right? From that data, patterns need to be figured out. That patterns will become some predictions, and then prescription, which is eventually are the actions that we should take on achieving certain things in the business, right? So this is the broad flow of how predictive AI works, okay? And to make this work, we have three layers of stack, right? Which starts with the data layer, analytics layer, and intuition layer. I'll take you guys through all these three and help you understand how we are achieving each of them, right? First layer is data layer, which is very critical, because when we're working on this, we realize that a lot of information when we need to take certain decisions were not available. So we started generating and capturing a lot of data, and that is what we are building here, right? So this is first part. Okay. Today we have AI tagging system, which is looking at the image. The PIMS identifies 44 different attributes of the products, fills them automatically. It goes to the human to check, validate. If it is not right, they tag that it is not right. The AI learns, and then the next set of output is even better. Okay. We get cultural context data of what is happening in which location, which city. Hence, this jewelry would be relevant for this particular location. We have style context data, which is a particular kind of jewelry can be worn on what kind of clothes, color, what makeup, what hair, okay, what all you can do. And this is something that we're building now, which is in-store display and walk-in context data. I spoke about this, that how we're capturing walk-in details and trying to layer this data also into what is happening across the business. Yeah, so these are three systems which are feeding into our database. Yeah. So broad use cases, I just put some 4 use cases here, which we are able to see, we are able to achieve, which is we are able to predict design intelligence, what kind of products, what combinations of designs will do better in which location. Okay, the features that will drive, which is that if I have a choker necklace with a smaller stone, is likely to sell more. So these are the feature clusters of the product that work together. It is the foundation for building AI-driven curations, which we are doing. I'll just show you how we are doing those curations also. And next, what we want to achieve is how do we influence the AOV of certain stores by dynamically changing the display in the store. So we generate information sheet for the stores that these are the products should be kept in the display. These products should go back. And that is something that we're trying to figure out whether it can influence the AOVs in the stores or not. Right? So I'll spend little time on taking you through two of our systems, which is PIMS and GenAI. PIMS is product information system, which is generating those 40 plus attributes, keeping it at one location, sharing it with GenAI. GenAI is generating a lot of images based on those insights and sending it back to PIMS. So this is our in-house PIMS, and the images that you're seeing right now on the screen are the first images as soon as the products reach our warehouses. These are the photos that we click from the phones, and the product information, which is actually SKU code, and this image. This is the only two inputs that go in the system, and once it is in the system, okay, all these attributes get generated automatically, which is what is the product type, okay, the pieces, theme, motive, if there's a motive. So it identifies if we have, Lakshmi, Ganesha on our designs, okay, color. So there are multiple attributes. All these attributes are defined by AI only. Okay. Then there are some contextual attributes, okay, glam level, style, persona, cultural or ethnic region, where we are able to identify whether it will work in north more, south more, in Tamil Nadu more, or Punjab more, and what kind of occasion this product is relevant at. And then these are some styling notes, which are how you should wear this product. Okay, so you see that outfit, recommended colors, makeup, hairstyle, accessories to pair, and this is the information that gets generated just by this one image and the SKU code. And from here, some people would just check the information and figure out if there's anything that is not right. Right? So this is the PIMS that we have, and from PIMS we move to GenAI, which is where the catalog comes. Right? So this entire catalog of those basic products come here, and from here we figure out what are the products for which we need to do some kind of shoot, and shoot actually happens here itself, right? So maybe I'll just show you one. Okay, so I'm picking one product here. Now what it's doing is it has picked the product, the basic image of the product that is there. It has pulled the styling hints, which is what kind of clothes, dress, and makeup and all those things are required. And then these are some features available for people to figure out what kind of shot we want. Okay, we have something called Simple and Pro, where you can also give the environment, lighting, what kind of background that is required, and if you want to override anything that AI is trying to generate every time. And on the right, you see some of the images that were generated in the past. Okay, so these are all AI generated images. We can generate A+ content, mood shots. Yeah, there are some mood shots also. Detailed macro shots. Okay, catalog shots, and again catalog shots can be generated for various marketplaces, because everyone takes different kinds of catalog shots with them. We have something called post-production also, where after a shoot is done or after an image is produced, if you want to make any change in terms of transliteration or translation. We want to change some text on the image. That happens from here. We want to change the product. What happens is we don't have a lot of depth in our products. We have more wider products, right? So when we are doing any promotion, products go out of stock more frequently. So we just change the product on the model or any creative that is there. Property, which is whether you want to make models sit, stand up, change clothes, all those things, right? And these are things that today now we are doing. I mean, we have a large studio, but we fear that now that studio will be redundant for us, because everything that we want to do or we do in that studio, we are able to do here in a few seconds. I'll just show you some examples of, yeah, all these are generated images. And we have also built something where we can upload, you know, for sizing. You keep a product along with that. You upload a raw image of that product, and system will understand and figure out what is the actual size of that product, and will ensure that on a model it is not looking very large, big, and it is fitting really well. Right? So if you see all of these, maybe I'll show you some interesting changes that we did on post-production. This is our brand ambassador, Sania Malhotra. This is the actual shoot that we did of her. Okay, and the same product in a different layout, different dress, right? So the loss on the product is not there, loss on the model is not there, and we're able to do it again and again for this is another one, Priyanka Mohan. Priyanka Mohan, this is the original image. This is the changed image. So post-production changes on all the creatives we are able to do. So that is, these are the things that we are able to achieve by doing a data layer and generating the data through PIMS and Genie that we have. The next thing in predictive AI is about semantics and analytics layer. This once you have a lot of data, the tables need to understand that what is the context that lives in the other table, right? And you need to, like I have a table which tells me all our stores and what kinds of stores we have. And I have another table which shows me that the occasions that we have and how much sale we have done and what is the store ID, right? So if I want to know that how much sale we are doing in mall versus high street stores of bridal products. So bridal products are sitting in a different table. The information about whether a particular store is mall or high street is another table. So these two need to understand each other, and then the information has to be picked from both the tables and to be presented. That is called knowledge graph. That is what we have built, and basically it sets the relationship between multiple data points that you're generating and ensures that system understands and presents it in a certain way, right? So we have built something called Full Story. Full Story is our in-house analytics tool, which basically takes, we have about 500 different tables, tons of data. It takes all of that data together and pulls out information which, whatever we want to, I'm sure all of you would have used Shopify analytics, right? And you know that on Shopify analytics, you can just figure out, okay, these are the metrics, these are the dimension I want to see. Tell me what is happening. And you also have something called Copilot or something on Shopify. Sidekick, yeah. Sidekick, which can pull out information for you. So we built something like that only, which is a semantics knowledge graph, which I explained that a lot of information needs to be connected. Then metrics engine, where we can create our own metrics or figure out tomorrow if you want to know what is our cost per footfall. Okay, and that information does not exist as it is. I just need to figure out my marketing spends, my total footfall, divide it and get that information. And that is where we can build all kinds of metrics that we want in the system. And finally, we have something called pin code OS, which puts together all our information of sales at a pin code level and tells us that what products we need to sell in which kind of location and which design and at what price point to maximize our sales. Right? So I'll just give you a little glimpse of full story, just so you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, so this knowledge graph, which basically are those 500 tables, how are they connected with each other and what kind of information they are generating. Okay. This is how it looks like, where the metrics I can figure out, or I can pick whatever metrics I want. Okay. Dimensions we can pick and it generates the data for certain period. These are the metrics that we have: sales, geography related, product related, and a lot of dimensions, that how do I want to see that particular data, okay, at a city level, like to like stores, region level, in a product specific kinds of product I want to see, okay. And it does not stop here. It actually goes beyond, and whenever we are generating any information, it goes at least 6 months back to see the trends and comes back and also tells us what has been happening. You are seeing today's data or this particular period, but actually you have been degrowing or growing over this period. These are the products that were working for you, not working for you. Okay, and okay, one second. Sorry. It also forecasts for us that based on what has been happening, the data is up to 30th November, the test environment. So it's predicting Jan, Feb, March numbers for us based on what we have been doing. And yeah, apart from Feb, actually Jan and December for our offline stores were similar numbers. Okay. Yeah, and once you have generated the report, it also nudges you that do you want to also see this and understand this, that based on the metrics and dimension you are looking at, you may want to also understand what is happening in this part of your business. And when you click on that, it just tells us what is happening. And yeah, we get the full story of our organization, what is happening. Third one is the intuition layer, where the prediction starts happening, where the insights gets translated into what actually can affect in a real world. Okay, and this is something which takes a little longer time. A few things that we are trying to do with this is to build our own curations and collections. The AI suggests some narratives and products that we should put together and launch as collections. Styling AI actually, if you go to our app, you will see that for a few products, how you should style. All those images are actually generated on the fly when someone is looking at a particular product. And then there's a decision feedback loop that is required, which basically is to tell back AI that something that is not working, something that is not right. So it will understand that, it will keep it in the back of its mind, and the next time the output will be even better. Yeah, so we have something called Minecraft, where we do trend mining, which starts with calendar. What is it? What event that is coming in the future? We pick that event. Okay. On that event, based on a few inputs, the insights and research happens. Okay. So I'll just show you one maybe output. Yeah. So this is the output for our vacation collection based on a few images as an input, few sources from Pinterest as input, few URLs of what large businesses are talking about as input, and based on those inputs, this is the trend that has been that is what AI is suggesting. Okay, why it is suggesting, it is also telling us that what is the reason behind picking this particular trend. Okay, what kind of products we should have in this trend or collection that we want to launch. Okay, if you want to do something for vacation, right? One suggested curation, which is you should name it like this, and what it should have in your collection. I think it's working. Okay. And there are some concepts, merchandising notes, SEO hooks. SEO hooks are for us to then generate long form content on our blogs. These are some curations which were generated by AI, and we took it to market. And the images are not by AI. The curation, the products inside each of these curations, and the story of the curation is by AI. This styling ideas on our app, which is generated on the go when someone is looking at a particular product. So as I told you that in today's world, when execution capability, capital, time is not constrained, the only constraint that is how do you imagine. And I just want to leave behind few thoughts on how to imagine, which we are doing, we are implementing at our organization. I felt I should share this with people in this room. Which is, one is we're trying to set up a department called Think Big. Their only job is to identify opportunities that can scale without significant costs. Okay, build it. It is not a consultative function inside the organization. It is a function which will generate the ideas, will execute the ideas, and once it is at scale, hands over to the division which needs to run it. Okay, so it is build, operate, transfer kind of model with real KPIs for each of them. It is not at all a consultative role, right? So this is something that we are setting up in our organization. We are also reimagining our workforce, because the earlier model of conveyor belt, where someone's output becomes someone else's input, does not seem to work anymore in the new world. And that is why we are trying to divide our organization into these three roles only, which is, one is process engineers. Their role is to build AI products, processes across the organization to cut down on any inefficiencies, to bring in a lot more AI generated things into the system. Second is domain architects. These are the people who are functional experts, who have deep knowledge about their function. They sit on the team. They provide the insights. Like if I want to build something which is to do with SEO, the process engineers will not know the nitty-gritties of SEO. That has to come from someone who is heading the SEO in the organization. So those are the domain architects. These are the people whose mind is being used to ensure that the products that we are building in the organization are worth using. And the last one is output managers. These are the people who are at the execution level, frontline, who are using the tool and just ensuring that the output that is going out of the tool into the real world in front of the customer is worth going out. And these are the people who also ensure that the quality is maintained. So this is how we are setting up our organization for to make it AI native. And I thought I should share this with you. Yeah. So that's all from my side. I just have one small thing to show, which I was going through the portfolio companies, and one company called the Salt Skin. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I went to their website, and small idea came to my mind. I've built something for you guys. I want to show that, which basically is a AI skincare, suggestion. It analyzes the skin and tells from your catalog what customer should be buying, right? Yeah, so you upload the image here. The image I've taken from your website only. This is one of your customer who has given the image, and this on one side. You can validate whether the output is right or not. Actually, I wanted to show how fast it is to build something like this. UI and all can be, we can review it later, but this is the analysis that, okay, I'll just go a little up. Active acne are high, post-acne marks are very high, texture irregularities, okay, and then some routine it is suggesting, which is steps, cleanse, targeted support, hydrate support, and then it is suggesting the products from your catalog, what customers should buy. These are the products that they should buy, okay, and yeah, that's how it's working. Maybe I'll just pick one more image to show how it's, okay. This is also from your website only. One customer would have shared it with all of you. Yeah, this is the output. Your skin appears clean and healthy with smooth, even tone, which we are able to see that there's a significant difference. Concerns are not significant. There's some post-acne marks, texture, but also the concern is medium to low. Products suggested are only 2, and yeah, 4 maybe. Yeah. So this is something that I built for you guys, and yeah, that's all. Thank you very much. Yeah, so.
Yeah. No, thank you basically for demoing what you just did. In fact, funnily enough, we are actually currently in the process of trying to build something similar. We'd sort of not been able to crack that image to this thing, condition ka translation, like very quickly using the existing models, or at least in terms of like whatever we've seen. But this was like very, very interesting to just basically see what you'd pulled out. I would love to. I mean, this is not, I don't have a question like right now over here in this forum, but I would actually love to just connect with you and learn how you just pulled this off.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Sorry, so on the catalog and the context engine layer, right? My question was that you showed that you had sales, or for example, you had your AOV, which could improve because of visual displays in store, right?
Yeah.
They both are lagging indicators, because once you have an AOV that comes from a consumer, then you change your display in the store. What's your leading indicator?
See, I'll tell you, it is the hypothesis that we have that this store has a potential to do higher AOVs, okay? And on an average, the products that are displayed, okay, if we change it is actually to support our hypothesis, right? And we've realized, we did this experiment at our Jayanagar store, which is one of the largest stores that we have in India. And the AOVs were about 3,500, 4,000, right? In every meeting, the question was this only, कि इसका AOV कम क्यों है? ये थोड़ा high क्यों नहीं बेच पा रहे हैं हम? ठीक है? And we went to the store, we figured out that we have 10,000 pieces of inventory, of them 6,000 are in display. But when I'm looking at average display price, that is very low, right? And second problem that we realized was the products that were displayed, okay, they were not representing our full width. Okay? 4,000 that are not in display are significantly good products. There are some products I can remove from this shelves, move them inside, because a lot of them are similar looking products, right? When you're putting them, we want to ensure that customers seeing very differentiated products in the row. So when we're looking at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all of them are looking same. When customer sees it from very close, they realize, okay, some thoda sa difference hai. Right? With this problem, we figured out that if we tell store this information that you should not keep these products in display. These are only if something goes out of stock, you have to bring out. And second is, these are the products that are really good selling. This should always be in display at this point, okay? And if it is going, if it is getting sold, second day, next day it should get filled, right? Just by that information, we are able to increase the AOV of bridal products in that store. We changed only for bridal product, right? So what you're saying is right. It is a lag indicator, but we are not looking at indicator. We are looking at hypothesis and validating that hypothesis through an experiment which worked. So now we have a belief that if we are able to control the displays in this store at central level, it gives me 3 scores. One is freshness, that how much products are fresh in the store in display. I know that, okay, this much is the fresh stock in the store, but whether it is display or not, right? So freshness score comes. Second is similarity score, right? So it has to be 0. You should not have products which are very similar and put together, right? And third one is hero products, whether they are displayed or not, right? So these 3 things, we did not have any visibility. What we have done is we have built it. Now once we have built it, we are able to also change things and see, अच्छा यहाँ पे ना मुझे everyday products का sale बढ़ाना है. Maybe it's a mall store. A lot of products are displayed in bridal. हटाओ उनको, थोड़ा move these, right? So those things we can control through central location. Something happens there, we get the results, and it is an experimentation, right? So if that experiment is successful, that is good. Then we'll go on to the next experiment.
Okay, so the next question would need a bit of context. So I built Nykaa omni-channel, so understand that. Second, my current consumer profile is in beauty and young customers, young girls basically, right? On the semantics layer and the analytics layer, most of the data that you talked about, or the way it was built, is built on customers that you already have, right? How do you bring in, or how do you prepare for new customers, customers that you don't know?
See that one more thing that we are adding to this is Shopify data, which basically is to understand from where customers are coming and how they are converting, right? We have not thought about how do we get data of people who have not come to us, because I don't know why do we need that information. All I need to know is these are the kind of customers, this is how they are behaving, okay? And if I advertise or talk to them like this, more people like this are likely to come to me, right? So if your question is, are there subsets who have never come to us and we don't have their information? Chances are low, because we've been there for last 15, 16 years and we've seen all kinds of customers. And something that is not visible to us that we're trying to build and bring is from Shopify, which is browser's data.
Correct. So I'm going to rephrase that. Fundamentally, imagine, and if you could step out of jewelry and just at any business, right?
Sure.
So if I have a consumer visiting my website, today I have a solution to retarget them even if I don't have their UID or mobile number.
Correct.
I have that solution. Now that's online. We don't have that offline, right? Which is what my question is. There anything online being built that allows you to do this offline? If not, then the third question fundamentally is this. Your intuition layer, right? From what I saw, shouldn't that be your layer 1, or was it in sequence that you were talking about it, that your intuition layer sits last? Or was it that you were just presenting all 3 layers?
No, that intuition layer has to come in the end, which is, see, data is what will tell me what is happening. That is where we are starting, right? And after data, we are able to figure out what are the patterns, right? And on top of those patterns, intuition, like, there are some business truths which people who are running the business would know well, right? That is the information we are feeding into. Like, Var Mahalakshmi is an important period for us, right? So when Var Mahalakshmi, the system may not immediately know that certain period there's a spike in the sale, but if we are feeding it that this is the period where our sale generally goes up, these are the dates of last 5 years and coming 5 years, it is able to read that. And that is where the intuition layer comes, where when I'm able to see system is, or AI is able to see that in 2 months, the Var Mahalakshmi is coming, right? it will start suggesting the kind of products that we have been able to sell during previous Varmahalakshmi and what new we have in the system that we can promote.
Okay, sorry. The last point is if you switch this for a new startup like ours, where we don't have historical data,
yeah.
what is the stack you would recommend? How would we address this problem?
I'll have to think on this. I'll think over this and come back because
Right, thank you.
you're right. I'm approaching it from total mindset where a lot of data is available and we're building on top of it. Yeah, but it's a startup problem where the data may not be available. How do we build? Sure.
Hi, I'm Gaurav from NetHabit. One quick
Hi.
question. For the Salt Skin,
Uh-huh.
where did you get the data to build that? Did you use Salt Skin's
From-
website data
yeah,
to
their web-
map the image as well as the textual data?
From their website, I've taken the product data.
Yeah.
And image, basically, I wanted any image to upload. So their customers' images are uploaded that I've just taken.
But what about the text part of it, the conversion of that image to say, hey, you have an acne or you have an
That
acne
is
mark and so on?
OpenAI's Vision API, which basically reads the image, figures out what is happening, and gives the feedback back. See, I'll tell you, the way all these LLMs are built now, and they have all kind of APIs available. Only thing that businesses need to build on top of it is an application layer. That is it, right? कुछ है नहीं उसमें वो photo OpenAI को भेजा है वहाँ से information आया है I've displayed it in certain way, right? And that's easy how it is. You don't have to build your own engine to read images.
Got it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Akash from Raz. Really,
Akash from?
Raz.
Okay.
Really like the slide on workforce one, but I just wanted to zoom in. Did not get it fully. So could we go back to that a little bit? Yeah. So
Huh.
could you give us an example of a particular vertical and then take us through basically all the people
Sure,
that are
sure.
involved in building a product. So I get process engineers, I understand, but who are these domain architects? Are they part of that particular team on a day-to-day basis or not really? Are they just being pulled into for this
Pulled
particular
into.
project?
Pulled into, which I'll give you one example of Ginny, right? That process engineer's role is to build the system end to end, right? Now, when the person's building it, right, it is a very complex and specialized system, okay, because it has information about lighting, it has information about background, it has a lot of aesthetic decisions to be taken. Those are the things which is where this domain architects come in, right? So the photographer, the stylist, okay, the person who is making the concept of the shoot, okay, these people were pulled in to build this product where we understood from them, okay, lighting mein kya kya hota hai? What do we mean by light box? What are these different kinds of lights that you put on a model, okay? Or when they're dressing up a model, they're sitting there going through that entire process, figuring out, okay, how they are draping a model, how the model is changing the product, how they're ensuring that the product that they're wearing versus the cloth that model is wearing, is there any color contrast, all those things, right? And those questions are being asked to these people about understanding, right? That's where they come in, they explain all these things, okay? And once it is done, then output manager's job is what I showed you that, okay, this output has come, approve, disapprove. If I'm not approving it, why I'm not approving it, what changes are required to be made. One interesting thing that we have built on this is we have something called Talk to Genie. Okay, so whatever we are building for any team, okay, we have given a small feature called Talk to whatever product it is, where you click on it. If you're facing any challenge, any issue, or any idea that has come, just speak there. Okay, bol do wahan pe, it will come to us. You don't have to wait for any meeting, or don't wait, no calendar setting, nothing. Abhi dimag mein idea aaya, click on that, speak. Okay, that system takes that, converts it into product. I don't know how many of you understand PRD, which is product requirement document, sends it to the process engineer. That these are the ideas that have come. I've created PRDs or BRDs, business requirement documents for you. Evaluate and respond back to the people who are using it, right? So that is small thing that we built. But yeah, domain architects are those people who are pulled in to ensure that system is set up, working the way they would work in real life, and the output managers are people who are using the system.
So they're also pulled in.
No, no, they have to use the system. So now that images, someone has to sit and ensure that images are coming, images are being generated, images are going back to Shopify or wherever they are supposed to go. So these are the execution layer who are sitting and looking at the output. They're not pulled in. They are the real users in a way.
So how do you, once you identify what to build, how do you build them? Because is it like an what's your suggestion? Is it something like emergent, or do you suggest some tool to
Tool you're
build
talking.
the something like Genie, right? मतलब आपको
हाँ.
कौन सा tool use करोगे?
Okay, that use multiple tools. Okay, one to understand deep context about what you are going to build. Okay, I would suggest Claude is the best tool. Okay, that is where you figure out. Okay, that your thought, Claude will start building on that thought and start building deep PRDs for you. Okay, use them to set up the project or the app or whatever you're building. Okay, using Codex. Codex is from OpenAI. That is where you can build it. Okay, once it is being built on Codex, ensure that there is some kind of handoff or information sharing happening between Claude and Codex, where Claude is working like a product head, and this is working like an engineering head. So it says, मैंने ये बना दिया है, देख लो. Then Claude goes, checks, says, okay, ये ठीक है, इसमें ये change करना है. And then the most important piece in this is the person who is running this. Okay, their depth of understanding the entire business comes in, because when you're building, whatever AI is suggesting may not be a good idea to build. Okay, you have to figure out a way how do you want to drive it, right? Because it is very dangerous to be driven by AI. उसने बोला हम कर देंगे. You have to find where the gap is and how are you going to drive AI and get the exact information that is required, right? And use these two tools are enough. That's all. Thank you.